Finally, we had nothing around with Mama. We left it now, carrying away curtain. We want to see the attic. We may not carry to study. Some so well, we see my day, no. It's not supposed to be routine, it's supposed to be very. Yeah, so let's look at contract. If you're able to finish the data, if you're not, but then it's a little bit. So what is a contract? We're still looking at the employment capacity. This is section 25. What is a contract? If you hear the word contract, what comes up in your mind?
It's like a legal agreement between two parties.
Legal agreement between two parties. So we're talking about employment. Before, when you're given an offer letter, or before you get employed to anyone, you're supposed to have a contract. That contract, what does it mean? What is it supposed to have? What are some of the details that it's supposed to have? So that's what we're going to be looking at. Make sure you're employed. Before you start your duties, you're given an offer letter, a contract. This is the only thing. Am I employed on permanent basis? Am I employed on temporary basis? What are my wages? What is my salary? What are some of the things that I am entitled to? Am I entitled to bonuses? Am I entitled to allowances? All those things are supposed to be stipulated in the contract. So that as you start your work, you are very confident of what is required of you. So, unless otherwise provided by this act, this part applies to all types of contract of employment. So a contract of employment shall be in any of the following forms. So a contract can be for an unspecified period of time, that is permanent, not specified. Then we have a contract for a specified period of time, that's employment on a specified period of time, and a contract for a specific task. So we have three categories of contract: a contract for an unspecified period of time, a contract for a specified period of time, and a contract for a specific task. So in our general language, say we did one on permanent basis, two on contract. There are two, one, the three, the general and the cash on a specific task. While that task is done, that means the contract is out. That means the contract is invalid. So in a contract of employment, in respect of a skilled worker, who is a skilled worker? Who is a skilled worker?
Yes. A skilled worker is a person who assigned to do a specific job.
Skilled worker? Skilled worker is someone who is trained for that particular job. That is a skilled worker. Someone who is trained, like a nurse. You can't be a nurse without going through training. That is skilled. You can't be a teacher that is skilled without being trained. So anyone who has gone through training, that is skilled worker. So in a contract of employment, in respect of a skilled worker, the parties may agree on the duration of the probationary period. Others, their probation is 6 months. Others, their probation is 3 months. It just depends on the agreement on how that particular institution or organization carries out their work. So, provided that the period shall not in any event exceed 12 months. So, provided that the period shall not in any event exceed 12 months, during a probationary period, a contract of employment may be terminated at any time by either party without notice. So, if the contract does not exceed a year, it can be terminated any time. Now, for the purpose of this section, skilled worker means an employee in an undertaking who has special ability to do something. I've already said it, so they're just trying to define it. A skilled worker means an employee in an undertaking who has special ability to do something, which ability is gained through acquisition, programmed or otherwise, of knowledge, attitude, and behavior. So that's what a skilled worker is. Section 27, every employer shall give to each employee a written statement of particulars of employment. So, the statement referred to in subsection 1 shall be given with respect to an employee in employment at the commencement of this act, within 3 months of the commencement of this act, to each employee who is employed by the employer. So, when you have been offered a job, you are supposed to be given an offer letter within a period of 3 months. You are supposed to know the details of your contract within a period of 3 months. So, with respect to an employee employed after the commencement of this act, within 1 month of his or her reporting to work, but also with respect to an employee employed after the commencement of this act. That means within a period of 1 month, you're supposed to be given your contract terms. So, the statement referred to in subsection 1 and 2 shall include the following. So, when you're being given a contract, what should be included in that offer letter? 1, names of the employee and the employer. So, we should be cognizant of this one, because maybe we might find ourselves in a position whereby the person wanted to gain the offer letter, you had interviews and people that were successful. People have been successful in the interviews, so as HR, I've been given the responsibility to write out my offer letter. So what should be included? 1, the name of the employee and the employer. So that means you have to include all those. Who is the employer? What is the name of the employee? Number 2, that contract should also include the date of commencement of the contract. This contract starts to cover 1 November, should be the date of commencement of the contract. 3, the rate of remuneration and the method of calculating remuneration. How have you come up with that total fee? Number 4, the interval at which remuneration is paid. Is it paid monthly? Is it paid quarterly? Is it paid weekly? All those should be stated clearly. The nature of the work to be performed. What nature of the work is to be performed is also supposed to be stated clearly. Then our normal hours of work. I remember last week we were looking at the normal working hours according to the act. What did we say are the normal working hours?
Weekly.
Yeah. Normal weekly working hours according to the act.
We are saying on the day, suppose it's 8 hours.
Weekly.
Weekly, not exceeding 42.
For the 8 hours.
For the 8 hours.
So, on that offer letter, you're supposed also to include the normal hours of work. You're going to need hours of work. 6 hours per day and 48 hours per week. So they're supposed to be stipulated on the contract. But also any provision for the termination of contract and other than those provided by So if there are any other reasons, or if there are any other conditions that makes one to be automatically being terminated, we are also supposed to stipulate in the contract. But if you do this, you are going to be terminated with immediate effect. All those things are supposed to be clearly written down. These are the things that are supposed to be found. Some they just put they don't include all these details. They include five details, they include six of the details. This is the information that is supposed to be included in your contract.
It's like my rules and regulation of the organization.
Any provision for the termination of the contract other than those provided by this act. Yes, each and every organization has terms of conditions of service. Yes, but maybe there are some things which require immediate termination. Maybe there's one or two things that require immediate termination. You can include them. One or two things is just fine. But also any disciplinary rule applicable to the employee. If there is any disciplinary rule, you can also include in the contract. So these are some of the things. Remember, the Act as a guideline for all institutions, for all organizations. So you might include all the details stipulated here, or you may include part of them, but this is just like a roadmap for guidance. As I said, you include more than what is stipulated here. Yes, so those are some of the things that would be included or should be included in the contract. Any questions, comments?
On probation. It means that someone has specific mind.
Depending on different institutions.
Okay, for example, minimum payment, yes? Minimum payment 50,000. And I'm especially if you are for 3 months, I'm caliber like 6 months.
Probation is going to be 6 months. The maximum is 6 months.
Maximum 6 months.
In most institutions they use 3 months. But it doesn't extend to 6 months. It doesn't go over 6 months. Yeah. So for the purpose of this section, employer means any person, body, corporate, undertaking, or body of persons who or which are in his employment at least 5 employees. So they're trying to define who an employer is. So they're saying an employer means any person, body corporate, undertaking, or body of persons who or which have in his employment at least 5 employees. So, for you to be called an employer, you need to have at least 5 employees. For you to be called an employer, according to this act, you're supposed to have at least 5 employees. I think that's it.
Okay, they're trying to say that if you want to be in a position, you have to code that you are an employer. You have to be, you will not come out or graduate. Nina, I'm being 5 months.
What do you mean? Really, That's according to the Act. Kuma generally, in your maneuver, we know it's in Nigeria. According to the Act, you're supposed to have at least 5 employees. Section 28 is subject to Section 29 and 57. A contract of employment for an unspecified period of time may be terminated by either party. So, but remember we said we have 3 different forms of contract. The unspecified one, the specified one, and the one for a specific task. So we are saying the one for unspecified period of time can be terminated by either party, either the employer or the employee. Both can have the power to terminate the contract. When you don't go on the 5 in a mobile data, you can terminate your contract. So a contract of employment for a specified period of time shall automatically terminate on the date specified for termination unless it is expressly or tactically renewed or prolonged. No notice shall be required for this termination. So, in case for a contract of a specified period of time, that one, when you sign that contract, it was stipulated. Yes, your contract is starting on 1 November and it's going to 1 November 2023. If it's for 1 year, that means it's going to be declared invalid by 1 November 2024. So the moment that date approaches, automatically that contract becomes invalid or is terminated automatically. Why? Because you signed. Unless the contract has been renewed. So, where the purpose or effect of a contract of employment that is purported to be for a specific period of time or a specific task is the filling of a lasting basis or the post connected with the normal and permanent activity in any undertaking. It shall be deemed to be a contract of employment for a specified period of time. So let's say you have you signed that contract for a specific task, but now it's being prolonged. That means automatically it enters the unspecific period of time contract. Remember that a contract has specific task, my going to is being prolonged. The date automatically it enters the category of unspecified period of time contract. So a contract of employment to perform a specific task shall terminate on the completion of the task, and no notice of the termination shall be required. So if you have been given a contract whereby it's for a specific period of task, because you were employed, maybe for example, you were employed by an institution which they had issues to do with maybe their system upgrade. So as an IT expert, you've been given that task. Once you've worked on that task has been completed, that means automatically your contract has been terminated. Why? Because the task has been completed. So that's for a contract of employment to perform a specific task.
So, umuntu akabura process specific task yende hakuna like mwanzoni hata akazua vile ndio hata bila social dina kulingana na nani amba specific task ndio already ibidi
then it goes to a unspecified period of time contract.
Then aba asuri akalipa sabani price that belongs to the winner.
They should, because if it's prolonged, definitely it corresponds to another type of contract. If it's And once the task has been finished, that means it's for a specific task. My system up the moment put a one but contract end. Mangai can only make the realized system must still probably that when now becomes a specified period of time contract. Right. Now, provided that in case of ambiguity, where an employee is regularly and repeatedly employed and paid wages on the basis of completion of a quality of work, which can be completed less than 24 hours, the contract of employment shall be deemed to be an specified period of time, provided that in cases of ambiguity where an employee is regularly now it falls in the category of a specified period of time. A contract of employment for a specified period of time may be terminated by either party upon giving the other party the following period of notice. So let's say you have been employed in the contract of a specified period of time. So you want to resign. The termination of the contract is allowed to both parties, either the employer or the employee. But when terminating the contract, you have to follow the following minimum period of notice in the writing. So whether the contract is to pay wages at a monthly rate. So if let's say you are employed and you're getting your monthly your wages, they said your contract should also indicate at what interval are you going to be getting your wages? Is it on monthly basis? Is it on weekly basis? Is it a fortnight or whatever? So if you are in the category of whereby you are getting your wages monthly, that means you are supposed to where the contract is to pay wages at a monthly rate, that means you're supposed to give 1 month notice. So where the contract is to pay wages for fortnight rate. So if you are getting wages at fortnight, that means 1 fortnight notice where the employee has been employed for less than 5 years. If you have been employed by your employer and you've worked for that employer for less than 5 years and you are getting your wages fortnightly, that means if you want to terminate your contract, that means you're also supposed to give a notice of 14 days, fortnight as well.
Okay. Who gives that notice in the first place?
Instead, put it termination for a specified period of time contract. Termination can be done by both parties, either the employer or the employee. So
because first you said if you give me what is in fortnight, there's you know if you give them, so don't know what gives the notice.
Both sides to know the employer they will come to what 5 years.
Okay, I put it before my payment they should give a notice. And when you are terminating your contract, you have to give also a notice in 14 days. There is a notice before the termination. Before Mr. Termination, when no notice, you should be given a notice. So who gives that notice? Is it the employer or the employee?
to one another.
My wages.
First, the contract, yes, no contract. They don't want to they are avoiding the termination of contract. There is the employer or the employer to terminate the contract. They are not only whatever employer or the contract before about the list of midnight. Perhaps when the employee from before appointed contract by employer, if you also use support, but how did they work as one support when I need to then
Gambe ya Mose. Mkuma wote baba. Let's not be still with Gambe and Baba. You cannot catch up my room and the moon. Means Macaria.
What was over?
Means Macaria. Showing glass and being more ranching. Gambe and Mose. Very Macaria. I'm still going to know if you come again. The contract, you know, the contract. You know, wages now come the no gap. Yeah. They mobile machine. That's the that of coming to class late. Yes. You must go to you don't wait and glass minute. You must have done. Makan di kemudian makan makanan di makan macam bidala untuk menjadi you know tomorrow I have a class at 8 o'clock. You come to class at 9. Kalau baik asal tu makan barang deh, you will get nyaman. Kalau boleh kita ada sesuatu nyaman. But anakuna nyamara nitoka ikitu wamba nzui mimi ndio mlinga ndiye mimi ndio sasa kwa sababu wewe ona kuna mbone wewe fungo kwa wewe Sebagai sistem sendiri, maklum ujian ini dan itu maklum ujian. Oh sama seperti sekolah. Mungkin soalnya dah sudah mulai jadi kan sendiri. Mungkin soalnya. So, what is contract? Contract for a specific. We say there are three types of contract. One for a specified period of time. Two for unspecified period of time and for a specific task. So after we are looking at for an unspecified period of time, when you want to terminate the contract, either you are, so we say, for an unspecified period of time, termination is applied to both parties. The employer can terminate the contract, the employee can terminate the contract. Both of them. The employer can terminate the contract from the thing that will be able to be held and his conduct. They can terminate it. The employer, you can terminate your contract. So if you are in that category where you are being paid on monthly basis, that means you're supposed to give a termination notice of 1 month. If you were being paid on fortnight and you have been employed for less than 5 years, that means you're supposed to give a notice of termination for a period of fortnight, 14 days. If you have been for 1 month notice where the employer has been continuously employed for at least 5 years. So for less than 5 years, give a notice of termination of 14 days. If it's more than 5 years or 5 years, that means you give a notice of 1 month. Yes. And simple as means moving in kuma kasi ya zibani kwa nini soko ni gani na kuna kasi tungo bweza bweza mama. So where the contract is to pay wages on a weekly rate. So I've looked at on monthly basis, we've looked at fortnight, now we're looking at a weekly rate. What does it say if you want to give a notice of termination? 1 week notice where the employee has been employed for less than 2 years. So if you have been employed for less than 2 years and you have been getting your wages on weekly basis, that means you're supposed to give a notice of 1 week. 1 fortnight notice where the employee has been continuously employed for a period of less than 2 years but not exceeding 5 years. So if you have been getting your wages on weekly basis, a and you've worked for that employer for less than 2 years, but not more than 5 years. So that means you're between 1 to 5 years. So the 5 years for in a scenario less than 2 years, one should give one notice. So this one is between 2 or before 5 years. That means you're supposed to give a notice of 2 weeks, fortnight. So 1 month notice where the employer has been continuously employed for at least 5 years. You've been employed and you're getting your wages on weekly basis, but you've served for that employer for more than 5 years. For more than 5 years, you've been working for that person or for that employer, and you've been getting your wages on a weekly basis. That means you're supposed to give a notice of 1 month before you leave. If it's the employer, the same applies to the employer. I'm going to pass a notice here 1 month. If it's you're supposed to give the employer notice of 1 month. You cannot just say, wake up in the morning, I have a student that here, it doesn't work like that. You can be taken to court. So it doesn't work like that. So these are the acts says we're supposed to give each other a notice. If you have been employed for less than 2 years, if you have been employed for more than 2 years, if you have been employed for 5 years or more than that, what notice are you supposed to give to your employer? So, where the contract is to pay wages at a daily hourly rate, how can you give your notice? So, the act says 1 week notice where the employer, 1 week notice where the employee has been employed for less than 6 months. If you're being paid for an hourly rate, 1 hour at you are your hours and a lot of your hours before you agreed to the hour 2 parts. Mpamana village hapo sasa. Kaanza kwa daily basis kama kuna sana kwa weekly basis something. As long as you're being paid on an hourly rate and you worked for that employer for less than 6 months, you're supposed to give a 1 week notice. So 1 week notice where the employee has been continuously employed for a period of not less than 6 months, but not exceeding 2 years. So if you have worked for more than 6 months, but you're not exceed 2 years, still will give a notice of 1 week. And 1 fortnight notice where the employee has been continuously employed for a period of less than 2 years, but less than 5 years. So 2 years, notice of 6 months, notice of 1 week. Less than 2 years, notice of 1 week. More than less than 5 years, notice of 2 weeks. 1 month notice where the employee has been continuously employed for a period of at least 5 years. So you work for that employee for a period of 5 years. You've been getting your wages on an hourly rate basis. You won't terminate your contract. That means you're supposed to give a notice of 1 month. And a simple, clear, and clear.
So, madam. So what if an employer has worked for more than 6 months? An employee who receives his wages on an hourly basis, and he works for more than 6 months. For how long does that, like, money, okay, for instance, he must have to give a notice in 1 week. So after, so what if he has worked for more than 6 months?
What does the act say? What does the act say? Act is very clear. What does it say? Where is your act?
It's in the pocket.
There you are.
It's not
in the pocket. I want it in the pocket. I want.
In my pocket.
Eh? But who will better than you it back? Can you pick something? I will better than you. Where is your act in my pocket?
In my pocket.
Yes. Your product is in your pocket. Aba ngobisa la news guy. Ngobisa la news guy yo. Oh. Ufeli that's straightforward. This is the way. Section 29.
That's the contract.
Yeah, so any questions on that? You are looking at contract and you're looking at termination of contract. We've also looked at, let's say you're being offered a contract. What are some of the details that's supposed to be accompanied? Also, what are some of the details that's supposed to be stipulated in the contract? We've looked at all that. So there's that. So, where the contract of employment for a specific period of time is to pay wages at any rate, either than the annual rate not provided in subsection 1. Either party may determine the contract at the close of any day without notice. So, the minimum period of notice in respect of a contract of employment for a specific period of time shall be 14 calendar days. So, section 29 shall not be taken to prevent either party from waiving his right to notice or any occasion or from accepting payment or real of notice. So you're supposed, no matter what